Hey fam, um, it's talking about my Killing AIDS story of survival, continuation into chapter one, talking about my childhood, and I'm sitting here thinking it's hard for me to remember any really good times that I ever had in my childhood, and I had already gone through this dark night of the soul, or in the shadows and stuff when you need to go to find the light. I did that back in the 90s when I had cleansed all this, and it wasn't pretty. And the only reason why why we've been talking about the things that I had gone through, were in hope that someone would say, wow, that's deep, and maybe they would say, maybe I didn't have it so bad, and give them some kind of strength to know that you can go on. You can go through anything. We're very resilient. Humans are. The thing is, a lot of times these things can make people or they break people. And I've been blessed that I think it just made me stronger. I always prayed. I still remember a prayer when at the age of 10, please God, I don't want to be like these people. I want to grow up and not be like the people that I'm around. This is my prayer at 10 years old. When little girls are praying for Barbie dolls and bullshit, I just pray that I don't want to be like that. And this idea of presenting a happy face and stuff, and then behind closed doors or somewhere else, it's the total opposite of what they present in real life. I never wanted to be anybody like that, near close to that. I'm not a show person. Um, I think that that's the biggest problem. I've always been authentic and call bullshit out. And when I would call bullshit out that I was seeing, I would get spanked because uh, people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to have. And I noticed these things, and I would say it. I say, well, why do you have to do this, and why does this happen like that, and how come you can do it and the other person can't do it? And I had questions all my life, and for that I was like, you're a bad girl asking these things. You're a bad girl for being a free thinker and asking questions. You can't ask questions. You want people to think you're crazy? Because if you don't go along with the program, if you don't believe what you're being told, then you're going to be called crazy. It's like if you don't, if I, if they tell you this is the color red and you're looking and it's purple, right? But you can't say it's purple. You better agree that it's red, or the rest of the people that were told that it's red will look at you like you're insane. And that's basically the premise of the whole thing. Anybody that speaks truth, it's almost as we're in the twilight zone and people are hypnotized, and there's a few people that are seeing things and calling it out, and of course we get singled out because how dare you, how dare you stir up our conformity, how dare you try to wake us up. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I think many people are waking up. They're like done with this hypnotism. And I went through my dark night of the soul already about my childhood and everything that I had gone through. I mean, it was hard. It was very violent. There was the only sense that I felt was secure because I knew that I would have food and a roof over my head, but that was it. That was it. As far as anything else that children need in order to so-called grow up healthy or whatever, which I didn't see it. That was my dog. Anyway, I don't see it. I don't see the way I grew up. A lot of people could have used that as an excuse to act out and behave in ways that are congruent with the way they grew up. But I didn't want to do that. Like I said, I wanted to not be like that since I was a child. I was like, I want to be more conscious. I want to be more real. I'm not trying to put on any shows. I'm trying to literally I hope nobody remembers my name, but just the message that you can make it through anything, from anywhere, and succeed, and shed that. Oh, go through your dark night, go through the shadow work, face everything that you went through, realize it wasn't your fault. These are things that had to happen to you in order, like to say, to make you or you break you, and be strong enough to let it make you. Because as far as I know, there's no one out there on the planet that can say anything, do anything, anything at all to me that would really shock me or hurt me at this point. So it's like you become completely a superhero because nothing hurts you. Everything bounces off of me now. I say nothing can hurt me. The people that were supposed to take care of you didn't. You have a superpower now, because if you were nurtured like that, anything that anybody in the world, any cruelty that could come to you, and believe you me, having so many differences, I've heard it all. I've heard it be Spanish woman, gay, I've heard it all, and then some. Nothing can hurt you now. Nothing can hurt me now. So anything that comes of anything that I say now, or that whatever it is, any trolls that come out there, save it, save your breath. I'm a superhero when it comes. There's nothing you can say to me that's gonna make me phase me. The only thing you might get is a clap back, and it's not gonna be good for you. But I don't have time for that. I don't want to do that. I'm an Aries by nature. I want to clap back. I don't want to fight. But I'm trying to be a well-aspected Aries that's more into just being a warrior, and I don't know, try to right the wrongs, and go after bullies like you don't know. I can't stand bullies. But anyway, this all comes from the upbringing. It'll either make you or break you. Like I said, I think it made me stronger to the point where I don't look for validation. I don't look for anybody's approval, and that's a superpower right there. So, my childhood, as hard as it was, it made me strong enough to be able to face all the things that I had to when I went out here on my own. And like I said, I'm going to make these short and sweet because I don't want to take up too much of anyone's time. But I did, after I almost ended up in the military, and I got a job and I didn't. I got 2 jobs and I didn't. This was in the 80s during Reagan years. And I landed a job. I knew somebody that knew somebody. And then that's the way you get into this company. And I was able to land a job with a major Fortune 500 company. And this with my GED even. So, I was making good money at a young age without having to go to college. And I actually sat next to people that had bachelor's degrees, and they were making the same amount of money as I was at that age. At my young age, I was making good money. So, I had benefits, stocks, bonds, 401k, the whole nine, And then it was great. It was a great opportunity, and I had opportunity for advancement and education and everything with this company. So I wasn't planning on leaving because, I was going to make that kind of money and have those kind of benefits. And just anywhere, especially in West Palm Beach, in that area. There was not really much happening unless you're working for Trump, and he don't pay his people from what I heard. But anyways, I don't want to get into that. Talking about what we could survive or what I've had to survive and what it did to help me face the things that I've had to. Now, working in this company, I would say, about 200, two offices in one, and there was at least 200 people in each office. And because it was 24-hour operation, it was all 24/7. So while I was in there, I made a few friends, but I also, I came out as bisexual at first because I felt like that was less of strained and saying I was flat out lesbian at that point, which I should have, was bisexual, whatever. And the thing was that I had this job and I wasn't trying to bring any of my personal life into my work. That's one thing my dad always taught us: don't shit where you eat. So the last thing on my mind was to come out of the closet in a company, in an office or a company, a work environment that for all intents and purposes, they were gay friendly. But in the area that I lived in, there was mostly, in the South, mostly Confederates that were in charge of the union that pertained to the company, the union. And most of them were Southerners, Confederates, speaking with that long drawl and the Southern drawl and everything. And it was like, I'm not sure some of them didn't have their little KKK rose and stuff either. It was like that, so the union was like that. I knew the problem was that also the management were one of the Bible thumpers. One of them was a Baptist. Two of them were Baptists. And I was never going to come out in that work environment. But lucky for me, my direct manager was Jewish at the time. And what happened was I made friends. Like I said, I was making friends there. And I made friends with one older woman that maybe I should not have made friends with. Now, this woman was from Miami. And I believe her and her husband were swingers. And I don't know if I gave off that gay vibe or whatever, but she befriended me and then started talking to me about her husband was going to be out of town and she was alone in her house. And if I could stay with her a couple nights or whatever and for a week or whatever until he came back from doing his job or whatever. I thought it was kind of weird. I said, it's just Miami. Why can't he just drive back home? But I said, oh, whatever. I was single at the time. I lived alone. I said, what the hell? She had a real nice house. And, it's closer to work. So I did. I stayed with her. And then one night I came home. Or I came to her house. And I stayed with my other friends, and we were all partying and stuff. And I came back about West Palm Beach. The clubs are open all night long. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. You can still party. So it was open all night. And then Fort Lauderdale was 2 o'clock, and Miami, of course, all night. So we grew up. We didn't have no closing time. This 2 o'clock closing time was like, what is that? What do you mean last call? It's the middle of the night. It happened when I went up to Boston. Last call is 2 o'clock in the morning? Get out of here. We were already used to staying up to at least 5 and going to have breakfast, So anyway, I got to her house about, 3:30, almost 4 o'clock in the morning. And the bitch was up, watching TV. I was like, this is weird, And she said, oh, I just want to make sure, I was like, I'm a grown woman. I came in, I had a key, I got in. And she was lying up in bed, and I said, she goes, oh, you didn't get any boyfriends tonight or something like that and hook up tonight? Because it was kind of early in the morning already. And I said, no, not even a girlfriend. And forget it. The next thing I knew, the next day at work, even though right after I said that, I was like, holy shit, I just came out to this old woman here. And I was thinking that she was a swinger anyway. And I was like, holy shit. And then she was like, oh, I had a feeling about you and this and that. And I said, oh, yeah. I was like, whatever. I'm just going to go and tip and go to bed or whatever. And I guess she tried to talk to me and I kind of like blew her off because, I blew her off. And the next thing I know, she told when I went to work the next day, I didn't have to go in until late in the afternoon. Because that's the different shifts that we had. I didn't have to go in until like 2 o'clock, I believe. Anyway, her work schedule was called in for her to go in earlier. She goes into work before I did. And by the time I got to work, I walk in and everybody's looking at me and running around in the office like chickens with their heads cut off. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then one of my friends run up to me. She goes, oh, ooh. I said, what? What happened? She goes, and the manager wants to talk to you and this and that. So I got pulled out on company time by a manager that said that someone said that I don't know, something about I was gay, or that I talked to this person, and it was nothing happening during company time or at the job. I was not trying to tell anybody because obviously it's dangerous. And for some reason, it didn't turn out that they couldn't say that I made a pass at her because nothing happened. But they said something, and she goes, "Are you really?" This woman says, "Are you really a lesbian? Are you gay?" And then before I didn't answer. I was like, and before I was gonna say yeah. Obviously, I was gonna say I guess somebody said something. Like, yeah, what do you, what the fuck, right? Before I could even answer her, she said, "Are you sick? Do you need help?" Okay, so this is what it was like to be openly LGBT back in the 80s at a major company, Fortune 500 company, that was supposed to be gay friendly, but had Confederate Union, a union that was full of Confederates. And I was just floored. I was floored. I was like, no. I said, yeah, I'm gay. And I said, does this have anything to do with my job performance? And she goes, no, just get back to work. And she sent me back to doing my job. And I thought that was really weird. So not long after that, I filed a grievance with the union, with the good old boys, talking about that I had been asked by an AT&T manager if I was LGBT, if I was a lesbian. I went to Confederates to complain about that in the union. And the guy was like, oh, what? Anyway, that was just the beginning of a lot of fun stuff that I had at this company. And all the while, I was just going to the gym and staying in shape and doing my thing, making that money. And now I find myself in the beginning stages of a LGBT rights fight. The fight for my life. Anyway, thanks for listening. Have a good one.